Hello, good morning, I hope you're well. So I thought that this week, instead of doing a vlog, I could share with you guys a bit of a different video and basically a morning cup of tea and a catch up. So I've got my Yorkshire brew and I'm ready to answer the questions that you guys sent in on my Instagram. So let's hop straight into them. First one is, how are you? So firstly, thank you so much for asking and checking in with me. I'm good. I mean, the world's a little bit of a mess right now. We're in our third lockdown here in the UK and I have to admit that January was not a great month for my headspace. And I think that when I've spoken to my friends, so many of my friends I feel like kind of struggled through January. It seems to be a bit of a common mindset. But I've come out the other side, and as we are entering spring, so I hope you can hear the birds singing, they're singing so loudly this morning. As we're entering into spring and the days getting longer and lighter and warmer, I am feeling so positive and hopeful. So yeah, I'm good. I'm good, genuinely I'm good. And I hope you're good too. Next question, do you think this is your forever home? So this, the Surrey Nest, the house that I'm in right now. And I would say, so Anne and I have spoken about this and we see this house as being for a very long time home. We imagine ourselves being here for at least a decade, if not a bit longer. We don't know how much longer, we'll just go with the flow. We don't have like a set plan of how long we want to be here. But we have spoken about that ultimately in the long term, we would like to be a bit more in the middle of nowhere because we have to be very accessible to London right now due to Ant's career mostly, but also due to my career. So we have to be in the sort of commuter belt of London, and we would love to eventually get a little bit more out in the middle of nowhere, have more land, and you know, live the country good life, guys. I want some veg patches, I want some goats. You know I want that goat life. A quick fitness one up next. What is your workout split? So I don't really follow a specific workout split at the moment, and I haven't done for a long time, but I do try and make sure that each week I get in at least one run, one lower body workout, one upper body workout, strength training with weights, and then beyond that, anything else I do is a bonus. So I might do a HIIT workout, I might do a hike. It's relaxed, but I try and make sure that I do a balanced week of strength training, so upper and lower, and then a run to maintain my running progress. So that's been like my key focuses in my strength training and my fitness in general, and then anything else is a bonus. How is Bella doing? So Bella is doing well. She's settled really well. She's so happy, she's thriving. She had some allergic reactions and we spoke to the vet and we think it was a seasonal allergy, but we gave her an injection and that's all been resolved. She was having like scabs on her head as an allergic reaction, but anyway, she had the injection, that sorted her right out. She's happy, she's healthy, she is, yeah, she's a little cuddle monster, and we just love her, guys. We love her. And Ant, the man who was like, I'm not sure about getting a cat, he loves her so much. He is a crazy cat man, and I'm so happy that he is. Is there anything about returning to normal that you're reluctant about? So here in the UK, we are slowly easing lockdown, hopefully in this roadmap over the course of the next few months, and we should be back to relative normality by the end of June. Just in case you're international and you don't really know what's happening here in the UK. So it's staggered over the course of different stages of releasing us from lockdown. And in terms of returning to normal, anything I'm reluctant about, you know what, I'm just so excited to see my friends. I'm so excited to go for brunch and socialise and go to restaurants and just live a little bit more normally and be in groups of people. But I definitely do have some nerves around being super busy and all over the place again, because you guys know that pre-pandemic I was crazy busy. Like I was traveling all the time, I was just completely out of a routine. I had no routine in my life, and now I've got to a place where because of lockdown my life is just one big routine, and I think it's going to be a bit of a shock to my system going from this super structured routine life back to the chaos that it was pre-pandemic. But I kind of feel like it's not going to happen straight away. It's going to happen slowly, so I'll have time to adapt. But that is the only thing that I think about. I'm like, I've really got into my routines now, and then it's probably going to go back to a bit chaotic. How am I going to find that? Am I going to be able to cope with that? But I'm probably going to love it. I'm probably going to lap it up. I'm probably going to be like, yes, give me more chaos. So let's see. What are your first plans for when lockdown lifts? So number one, see my family. I just want to see my family. I want to see the cats and dogs and the animals. A couple of my childhood pets are on, oh my God, if I talk about it, I get emotional, but they are on their last legs and they're probably going to pass in the next few months, and I really want to see them before they go. So That's really, really high priority for me. And just, yeah, see my family, see the animals, go up north, go back to Yorkshire, go back to God's own county. So yeah, that is priority number one. And then I think besides that, it's just like socializing, seeing friends, like meeting up in groups, going to restaurants, buying overpriced brunch. I can't wait for all of it. I want to go to museums. I want to go to like cinemas. I want to go to events, food festivals. Oh, I want it all. I want it all. I'm excited. What is bringing you joy at the moment? I love this question. And the main thing that's bringing me a lot of joy, besides like Ant and Bella and the people that I love, is spring. Spring. Spring is amazing. Oh my God, watching the blooms and the blossoms and everything just start to like come to life just feels like a re-emergence after winter and after lockdown. It's just so, I don't know, I feel like it's like representative of what we're all doing after the past year. So I am loving, like literally loving watching spring and just watching the seasons change. It's bringing me a lot of joy. What birth control do you use? We use condoms. I used to use the pill. That caused me a lot of grief. I used a coil. It caused me a lot of grief. And then I realised that I'm not meant to be on contraception. So now we use condoms. And the next one is something which I knew was going to come up, and it definitely came up a lot. It was perhaps the most frequently asked question. And that is kids. You used to be a hard no, and now you're saying maybe. Where is your head at? I totally understand why you guys want to ask me this question, why you want to know where my head is at, because I feel like I've been quite vocal about my opinions about having children, about not really wanting them in the past, whereas now my perspective has definitely evolved. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I'm definitely having kids. Let me explain. So I have never been somebody who thought, all I want to be is a mum. And I have so many friends who are like, my ultimate goal is to be a mother. And I'm so happy for them because they're just going to be the most incredible mums, and I can't wait to see them do that. I just think it would be so beautiful to watch. But I've never been somebody who has said, my goal in life is to be a mum. I've never been fussed by kids. I never really was raised around a lot of kids. And I feel like that has shaped me to be somebody who's not super maternal. So up until perhaps the age of 18, I just figured I'd have kids because I think society kind of ingrained it in me that like, you get married, you have kids. So I always thought I'd have them. Then as I came into my late teens, early 20s, I started to question everything in life. And that's why I started to develop some different perspectives. For example, eating more plant-based, questioning the food system. And also I questioned things like societal norms of marriage and kids and all that sort of stuff. So I started to question kids, and I thought to myself, you know what? I'm not that maternal. Don't really think I want kids. And therefore I came to a conclusion for a while that I think I was a pretty firm no. I don't think kids are for me. But now as times have changed and I've grown older and my perspectives and my situation and my environment has changed, I think I have internally evolved to be more open to where life takes me. So right now, I don't have a strong opinion as to whether I want kids or I don't want kids, but what I do know is that I'm not a hard no and I'm not a hard yes. I'm just let's see where life goes. And I can imagine that if I did have a kid, it would be the most incredible, rewarding, fulfilling, challenging and difficult, but phenomenal experience. And I'm sure it would be something that I would love to do, and I'm sure I would love being a mother. But right now, it's just not on my agenda. It's just not on my radar, and I just want to go with the flow of life and see where it takes me. But I've definitely opened up my mind to be like, yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Equally, maybe I won't, but maybe I will. And if I do feel like having a child or multiple children down the line, I do imagine it would be quite far in the future because I'm 28 and I have a lot more things I would want to do before I decided to make that huge life-changing decision and shift in my life experience. So yeah, I can imagine if I did have a kid, if I had a kid, it would be in like, I don't know, 30s somewhere, mid, late, early, mid 30s. I don't know. I don't know. So let's see, guys. Let's see. But all I do know is that I'm not a hard yes and I'm not a hard no. I'm just going to go with the flow. Let's see. Maybe one day I'll be like, Anthony Moore, come over here and impregnate me. I want to have your babies. Similarly to that question, do you plan your future way ahead or do you live in the now? I definitely say that I'm maybe in a middle ground for that one, because I've never had like a set structure. Like, again, I know a lot of women are like, right, so I want to find my life partner by 25, be engaged by 28, be married by 30 and push out the first kid by 31 or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So I know people have like set timelines they would like to fulfill, and I'm like, go for it. Do that, live your best life. I'm not somebody who's ever had a timeline that I want to fulfill. And I think especially because of my career that I'm in right now, it's such an unpredictable career. I can't really timeline my life. I'm just gonna have to go with the flow. So again, similar to the kids question, generally, I'm just kind of like a go with the flow person with life, which feels very counterintuitive for someone like me who's so anal, so organized and loves to plan ahead with things. With my actual life and my overall life plan, just kind of going with it. Like this house, moving to Surrey, was not in the plan, but it happened and we're here and I'm happy. So yeah, I'm just going with it. How do you manage living far from your parents? You know what, it's never been something that's been an issue for me, because me and my parents pre-COVID, we were super regimented about seeing each other basically every single month. It's only really been a challenge since the pandemic came into effect and you can't freely travel around the UK. So yeah, it's been a challenge over the course of the past 12 months, but prior to that, me and my parents saw each other all the time. So it's not really been an issue. And also, it's not like they live in Canada or Fiji or Australia and somewhere that's like multiple hours flight away. They're literally a 3.5 hour drive from me. So they don't live that far away. And I think it'll be fine once restrictions ease and we can freely travel around the UK. How do you always seem so chill? With your work, business and commitments, don't you get stressed? That is a great question. And yes, I get stressed a lot. More than stressed, I get a feeling of like overwhelm. I often feel very overwhelmed and then I'll just kind of like break down. But my stress, yeah, it kind of manifests as crying. I'm a crier, I cry a lot. And the thing is that I don't show me crying online because it's not a natural instinct when I'm crying to be like, oh yeah, let me just open my stories and film myself crying. Do you know what I mean? I kind of want to work through that emotion, process it, and come out the other side and like work through some coping mechanisms. So yeah, I do get stressed, I do get overwhelmed, but I just don't really share it online because it's not something that I feel inclined to do when I'm in that moment. But just so you know, I'm human. I get really stressed, I get really overwhelmed, I cry all the time. I probably cry multiple times a week, sometimes just from watching an advert that makes me cry, and sometimes from stress and overwhelm. I literally cry at anything. I can look too hard at a spring gloom and then cry at the beauty of nature. That's how much I cry. Favourite book you have read recently? I mean, I've read so many great books recently, but just off the top of my head, it would definitely be a bit of a stretch, which is A Diary of a Prisoner at Wandsworth Prison in London. And I just found that so fascinating. Number one, because I used to live near Wandsworth. And number two, because a family member of mine used to be a prison officer and he had a very traumatic experience in a prison. And it just kind of gave me a lot of context to explain his experience that he had. So yeah, it was just a really, really incredible, mind-blowing, eye-opening book. Can't recommend it enough. I absolutely devoured it. So I will leave it down below in the description box. Whether you have somebody that you know or not who has worked in the prison system, it is just so interesting to learn more about it, because I feel like it's an area that I've just never really known much about before. So highly recommend you give it a read. Okay, last two questions. Next one, your dating app experiences pre-Ant. So if you don't know, I met Ant on a dating app called Happen, and I was on a few dating apps before I met him. So when I first started using dating apps, I was at university in Sheffield and I used an app called Tinder. You guys probably all know Tinder. So I used that one for maybe a year, 18 months. I had some lovely dating experiences. I actually didn't really have any bad experiences through Tinder because I would always really scout people out before I met them, and I just went on some really lovely dates, but didn't actually meet anybody for me. Then I was on that for maybe 18 months, then it kind of shifted and Tinder became a little bit more of a hookup app, and I found that lots more people were approaching me on there for like casual hookups, and I was like, I am not here for this, I'm gonna move. And I moved to Happen, which is the app where I met Ant. And on that app, I actually started using Happen when I moved to London. So I loved dating when I first moved to London. So I moved to London in February, Ant and I got together in November. And in that period between February and November, I was on the app Happen, and I loved dating. Guys, I just love meeting new people. I love going to new restaurants. I love conversation. I'm a very social, outgoing person, and I love meeting new people. So I just had like the best time. I mean, I had some absolutely nightmare stories from my time dating in London, like hilarious, awful ones. Maybe I'll tell you them one day. But overall, I loved it. Like, I don't know, I love meeting people, and I met some lovely, lovely guys. People who I still stay in touch with now as friends, but ultimately none of them really were the right person until I met Ant. And we were together by November, and then since then it's been over 5 years of us being together. But honestly, cannot recommend dating apps enough, and like just enjoy the process of dating, enjoy the process of meeting new people. I know right now we can't because hashtag lockdown, but once things open up, enjoy it. Like, as somebody who's new to London, it was such an amazing experience to be able to go out to new parts of the city, meet new people, go to new restaurants. It was an amazing way to explore the city that I just moved to and meet new people and make connections. And even if those people didn't develop into relationships, it was just nice to meet them. I don't know, I had a really great time. So, dating apps, can't recommend them enough, met the love of my life on one. Final question of today is long-term career plans. Do you want to stay as a multi-hyphenate, or do you want to go into a single focus career path? Now, from my previous questions and answers today, you might realise that I'm somebody who likes to go with the flow. So I'd definitely say with my career, I don't have a super long-term plan. And if I think about that too hard, it does make me a little bit nervous, because like this industry, the content creation, social media, influencer and blogging industry is so new, and we don't know where it's going. And like my income is so variable, the way that I work is so variable, and obviously it changed so much due to the pandemic and stuff. So I honestly have no idea what I'm going to be doing in the long term. I would like to think that I'm going to stay as a multi-hyphenate, because I really enjoy having my finger in a lot of pies and working in various different ways, and kind of like just, I don't know, I love what I do. I genuinely love what I do. So I'd love to do this for as long as possible. But who knows how this industry is going to develop and how it's going to evolve, and where I'm going to see myself fitting into that. So maybe one day I'll step back from social media. Maybe I'll move into something else. Who knows? But for right now, I am loving this job, loving this industry, and I hope I can continue to do it for as long as possible. So I'm not going anywhere. Right, so that is a big old video. I'm sure it's been long, so actually I haven't finished my tea, so maybe it hasn't been that long, or maybe it has, maybe it's been like 30 minutes, so let's see. So I hope you guys did enjoy that video and you enjoyed catching up. I really feel like right now YouTube is probably my favorite platform. I'm loving connecting with you guys, I'm loving sharing the vlogs, I'm loving replying to you in the comments. I just feel like we're really, me and you are on a good wavelength, we're on the same wavelength, and I like you. So I'm really enjoying creating YouTube content, and I just really appreciate you guys watching and tuning in. Oh, hi Bella. Hi. Sorry, Bella's saying good morning. She's just one big furry distraction. Anyway, if you did like today's video, please give it a big thumbs up. Please leave a comment, please subscribe, and I'll be back with another vlog, a proper vlog, next week. Love you lots, bye.